thought he was going to see the season out, yeah.
Tom McDonald.
He'll pretty well play with where Vidal was.
Manny's starting this week.
Yeah, so he's dropped out of the starting lineup.
Is there to start Russia?
Where's Gavin?
Gavin Boy, that's interesting.
Big black line.
Before he goes out, Spears will play central. Good stuff to shift wide, you'd imagine.
It's interesting.
He's quiet.
Skills is in for the day to win. This is on the bench.
So they like to start there.
I thought he'd submitted that.
Van der May, the captain's name there. So apart from that, they're unchanged apart from Sakura starting in place of Hoy not even on the bench. Look out for Ash. He goes there, double aiming.
Give us a wave.
We don't know why Hoy isn't playing.
Welcome to Warrior Park in Moraine for today's Round 18 Victory League action. Damon Gill from FFT bringing this one live to you with Andrew Drewster calling all the action live from Warrior Park, as I said, as the Olympia FC Warriors host Kingborough Lions. Drewster, Olympia are off the top of the table. They've been the leaders all season. They now become the chasers. The title out of their hands. They've just got to do the job, don't they?
Yeah, got to pick themselves back off the canvas after a pretty humbling couple of weeks for them. They looked every bit the title winners this season. The last 2 weeks has just seen all their good work come undone, and now they are the chasers, as you say, and they've got to find a way to just pick themselves back off the floor and get the job done today, because the confidence, you'd imagine, will be down after a disappointing couple of weeks. But, you know, South Hobart, they've got a tough fixture list with their trip to Sydney for the FFA Cup, so they've got to believe that they can lose points, and they've just got to get out here and do the job today.
It's an interesting prospect they find themselves in. I think last time they met Kingborough, they had an opportunity to really bolt ahead of the pack. Would have been a 7-point gap if they had won down at the Den. They drew on that occasion, and maybe they draw some inspiration from that today, knowing that maybe if they got the job done on that day, the title would still be in their hands. So they really got to go out there and just keep the blowtorch on South Hobart, as Glenn McNeil put it midweek.
Yeah, the problem for them that day is the problem that has plagued them all year. It was just a lack of finishing. They dominated the Lions that day. We covered that one. They were clearly the better team. They created a host of chances and just couldn't finish them off, and that's been their problem this year. So they were looking to exercise a few of those demons this week. No Gavin Hoy in the starting lineup is the big one. I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's a big loss because he's been one of their main suppliers of goals, so they'll have to find another avenue today. The Lions, well, you never know what you're going to get with them, do you? They are really the box of chocolates. You just don't have a clue. They're the most inconsistent team in the league for mine. Maddeningly inconsistent. On their day, they're capable of beating anyone. Then you see other days where they'll ship half a dozen goals and look distinctly average, so we really don't know what to expect from them today.
They are all over the shop, Colin Roberts' men. At times, I've seen them roar like lions, but other times pairing little kitties. They've been really strange. Jekyll and Hyde is the best way to describe them, I think. Well, which one are we going to get today at Warrior Park? It'll be interesting to see. Of course, Vidal gone. He's off to the US to take up a soccer scholarship. Well done to him. But that's a blow to them. Lewis Vidal, probably one of their main fire starters throughout the season.
Yeah, he's been a real threat down that right wing all year, hasn't he? Certainly been one of their best players, and that's a big loss, and certainly gives Olympia a lot less to have to worry about defensively. They're certainly going to be glad to see the back of him, I'd have thought, because we've seen a few times this year Vidal has been the main man, so I think a lot falls now on the shoulders of Dean Watkins to be that creative spark for the Lions. He's the man who needs to step up in Vidal's absence.
100% agree. It'll be interesting to see who takes that place. Joel Scutt and Tom McDonald both in the lineup, so I think they're probably one of those goes out on the flank, and maybe Joel Scutt full back. Will be interesting. The lineup for the Kingborough Lions has been fairly settled throughout. A few little changes here and there. Their midfield's big area today, up against probably the best midfield in the competition. Although there's been a change in the midfield dynamics at Olympia, as you said, with Gavin Hoy out of the mix. Means probably Fabian Gustafsson comes into midfield in that number 10 role, and we'll see Emmanuel Sekiris return to the starting lineup after missing out last week, staying on the bench. Be interesting to see why Gavin Hoy isn't taking his place even on the bench. It's a strange one because he was probably Olympia's best before departing through substitution last week.
Yeah, he had a great game. I certainly don't think you can lay any of the blame on not getting the job done last week on Gavin Hoy's shoulders. He was outstanding out there, absolutely delight to watch. Just lacked someone to finish the work he'd been doing, and that has been the problem for Olympia all year. So we see Sekiris back in the starting lineup this week. He'll certainly have a point to prove after being left out for what was such a key game last week. I'd expect him to be playing with a rather large chip on his shoulder this week, and I'd be watching for Sekiris to have a big game today and maybe just tell his coach that made the wrong call last week. So he'll certainly be out there. We know that they will go in as heavy favourites today, Olympia, but it's going to be interesting mentally how they get up for this one, because it's been a really disappointing 2 weeks for them, and you just wonder how mentally it's affected the squad.
Yeah, it would have been an energy-sapping fortnight. First, they come up against traditional rivals, expected to get the job done, surrender a 1-0 lead at half-time to go down 2-1. A game they don't like to lose any time, but especially when it means so much for the title. It opened the door for South Hobart, and it's fair to say South Hobart, they gave them an inch, they took a mile, and they won last week. It was rather late on in the piece, but it doesn't matter how you get the chocolates, and now they've also surrendered top spot to South Hobart. So it's out of their hands. They've just got to go about their business and keep the pressure on South Hobart. The disappointing thing is across the river at the moment, South Hobart are in control against Launceston City. So it's interesting. Put yourself in the shoes of these Olympia FC Warriors players, being the league leaders, being the pace setters throughout the season. They've now relinquished top spot. How do they go about their business knowing they may not have an opportunity to get back up there?
Yeah, well, as you said, that's completely out of their hands, and maybe it might free them up a bit mentally. They certainly appeared to struggle with the pressure of the last couple of weeks, so maybe now that they're the chasers, that changes things up. I'd expect them to get the job done here against Kingborough today. I think they're a vastly superior team in the last 2 weeks. Doesn't undo what's been a great season for Olympia. They've been the best team. They've played the best football this year. And obviously it's going to be tough for them to pick themselves back up, but I fully expect them to do it today here against the Lions. And I think they will get the job done and put the pressure on South Hobart. Obviously, South have got to travel to Sydney, and then they've got a tough trip north next week, so they've got to really believe and hope that that's where they drop the points, and I think they'll be good enough to get the job done here at Warrior Park. A return home today, a welcome return home perhaps in front of the home supporters to get them up and going again.
Yeah, I think it's not done, is it, Drewster? I mean, I think all, including us last week, assessed the game as a bit of a title decider, but at the end of the day, the title's not all done and dusted. It was a massive game in terms of position on the table and potentially title deciding, but it's not done and dusted. There's still points to play for, and there's still games where they can make up that 1 point on the table. And of course, they only need to make up 1 point really and draw level with South Hobart. Such as their goal difference, it's a point in itself. So Olympia FC Warriors just need to go about their business, and I agree. I think they'll be far too good for Kingborough Lions down here at Warrior Park. I think on the sunny side of the river, when they get over here in front of the home vocal fans, they seem to get the job done. They grow a leg or two, and I think they'll put a fair few past the line. So I'm picking probably 4-0.
Yeah, that's a bold prediction. I'll probably go with 3-1 myself. I think they'll be too good. We'll have a look at the starting lineups, and Olympia today. Big news, of course, Alex Holmes done for the season. We saw him withdraw in the lineup last week. That was a big blow for them, 3 games. Certainly a tough one for them to overcome, you'd imagine, although you've got to say the defence held together very well considering, and maybe Van der May more suited to the central position. He'll shift back there today, and you'd imagine play alongside Lockie Nichols. John O'Griffiths will play one of the fullback spots. The other one, who have we got on this team sheet here? Harry Woolley will be the other fullback. And in midfield, obviously, you've got the Hickey and Mearns partnership that we wax lyrically about every time we cover them, because they really are just such a dynamic duo in midfield. We'd imagine with Hoy gone, Gustafsson will step into that number 10 role behind number 9, Matty Securis. And then on the flanks, obviously, you've got Warren Woodzawa, who play down the right, and Lukey Isles down the left. So still a pretty strong-looking Olympia lineup, and one that you'd expect will be good enough today.
Yeah.
On to the Lions in a second when we get that up. Are your thoughts on that Olympia side?
Yeah, I think not too many changes. Of course, a forced one in Alex Holmes, which was their hand was forced just minutes before last weekend's big match. But the other change, of course, Gavin Hoy out, but good replacement in Securis to go up top, and then we see Fabian slot into midfield. Onto the Lions, I've got their lineup handy, Drewster. Starting alphabetical order. Danny, he's been a real shining light for them over a couple of seasons. Up top, he's sort of been operating out wide this season, been very effective. Slotted, I think, 13 or 14 goals for the season. Very, very good season so far for Danny Cohen, fresh off a brace as well. So he's in form. Nick the Stork Cuthbertson, number 5 for Kingborough Lions, the skipper. He is the heart of their defence, and he'll need to have a big game today. His distribution probably was found wanting last time they were here at Warrior Park, and was he and it was Jai David on that occasion really struggled to get it out of the back third. Something they'll look to remedy up against the same fearsome Warriors team this afternoon. Kieran Dale also, he found his feet in the league, in the Victory League, as the season's ticked on. He's looked better and better. Joe Davis, also another pretty similar player to Kieran Dale. Kieran Dale, sorry. He's a holding midfielder type, just plays it simple, plays it smart. Andrew Duncan in the sticks, he'll guard goal. Adam Hedge in the heart of defence alongside Nick Cuthbertson. A lot of height in that partnership, but not a lot of pace. Somewhere where your Securis, your Isles, your Wadawus can maybe get at them. Also starting today, we have Thomas McDonald. He's got pace to burn out wide. Michael Palmer, who is a fullback. Joel Scutt, who I expect to see line up also in fullback. Jack Turner and Dean Watkins, who are really their engines. They're the key drivers in midfield. On the bench, Adam Hinkley, bit of a utility for them. Sung Yong Jin, who is a former Olympia player of a couple of seasons back now, used to have an impact here at Warrior Park and used to get out wide on his right and slot a few cracking goals. Bit of a homecoming for him. He'll be off the bench for the Lions. And we also have Damien Pearce and son of Colin Robbins, Will Robbins. So that rounds out the Kingborough Lions lineup. As teams make their way into the line, I tell you what, we're some 5 minutes late. No one super keen to get the game going.
Well, there must have been a kick-off change. All I can think of. It's certainly taking their sweet time, and it's certainly not the 3 o'clock kick-off we had advertised. So obviously, I think maybe the game before ran a little bit later than usual, the VTL game. So obviously need to give the players this one enough time to prepare on the pitch. So it's probably been a delay at some point. And I'd suggest that's why we've got a slightly later than expected kick-off here today. But the players are lining up now, and we're not too far away from resuming the football action here at Warrior Park. The Resi's got the job done pretty nicely in the game before, didn't they? It was a pretty thumping display from Olympia, and no doubt the seniors will be looking to repeat a similar effort there.
Yeah. Warriors, a strong lineup, as we said, Drewster. Now home wide up against the blue and black stripes of Kingborough Lions. Some talent in their lineup as well. If Jack Turner can hustle and bustle in midfield and partner well in there with the likes of Kieran Dale and Dean Watkins, he's the real one for them. He needs to get real work in there and use his pace and use that Turner speed and try and break through for the Lions. Apart from that, I think Warriors will be too good at home. A home venue that's been a fortress for them, really, Drewster. Albeit apart from one draw against South Hobart, they've got the job done on every other occasion. They've looked good in doing so. So the Warriors will be firing towards the highway and out onto the street.
Yeah, not too many teams come over here to the Eastern Shore and walk away with anything positive afterwards. They've really made that home ground, as you say, a fortress, which is what all teams want to do, and they've done it very successfully this year. It is a slightly narrower ground than some of the other ones we see play on, so obviously that helps when you're used to it. But the Lions, well, which Lions are we going to see is the question. Because if we see the good Kingborough Lions, then we could be out for a cracking afternoon of football. If we see the bad Kingborough Lions, then it could be all one-way traffic. We really don't know what we're going to get from them, but we hope it's the good Kingborough Lions and we have a good football out there this afternoon.
Yeah, we got the good Kingborough Lions last time these two teams meted, and they just really fought tooth and nail to get a point, albeit they were the second best team on the day, but they got a point out of it just through endeavour. But the time before that, when they played the Warriors over here at Warrior Park, they were outclassed, outshone and outgunned really. It was, I think, a 6-0 flogging on that day, so I think we're hoping for a better result and a better account of themselves on their venture across the river on this occasion. Of course, after this, there's only 3 more matches to play for, so Olympia will be wanting to make sure of a result and keep that blowtorch, keep that pressure on South Hobart at the top of the table.
Yep, they know what they've got to do, and we'll see if they can do it. As you said, 6-0 last time the two teams played here, and that day the press of Olympia just completely overwhelmed Kingborough, coming out from the back. I've scarcely seen a team turn the ball over more playing out from the back that day. They were completely rattled, and I'd expect a high tempo and a high press here from Olympia to try and do a similar thing today. Last time they met, obviously, the 0-0, that was a frustrating day for Olympia. They really should have won, and they certainly want to have their shooting boots on. And we're underway here as Jack Turner getting things started for Kingborough. He'll just shift it out to the left, and we see immediately Olympia force a turnover. Means passes it back here, and they'll go down the right to Warren Wadawa, but he's touched just a little bit heavy. Securis has played in though, and Wadawa looking to just do one over the top for Gustafsson. Uses his body really well. Turns it, gets a foot on it, was blocked. It's still in play, and an early chance clip off the line in the end. Danger signs early here, and a bright start from the Warriors, Gilly.
Bright start from the Warriors, exactly what I expected off the back of last week. The outcome to prove a point, and Securis in particular, and he almost was on the end of that one. A nice bit of work from Gustafsson first of all, make things happen. Got his body position well and turned it in, and it was Securis with the shot and the finish. So a throw in now from Woolley, in for Wadawa, who just nips off his boot and cleared comfortably by Joel Scutt, the winger come fullback. Of course, an absence we didn't touch on, Billy Gasparinados not in the Kingborough lineup, away for work, and he's a massive blow for Kingborough. They look a lot better when he's out there, so disappointing. Ziles nips into the box, just runs it back, and Moons with a shimmy and a shake, worries a couple off it, finds Hickey, spreads wide. Wadawa in, it's a flick from Vandermeer, and Cuthbertson with a couple of nods gets it out as far as Watkins. Gustafsson keeps him honest, he knocks back for Scutt. Scutt finds Duncan, bobbles up on him, Securis almost closes him down, he sees it out of the defensive third. As far as Davis, he can't find Turner, it's with Hickey to Griffiths, into the box, it's picked up by Gustafsson, he strikes and it's saved and it's over the top.
Some great keeping there by the big Dunkaroo to get his body in the way, but again they sliced him apart with easier Olympia. They're looking very menacing early days, they're going forward with pace and they're overwhelming this Lions defence. They're just holding on early days, and a really good passing move there. And Gustafsson unfortunately couldn't quite finish. It's been their problem this year, but if they keep crafting chances at this rate, then I don't know if you're going to be able to hold out for long. As we see the first corner down the corner where you can't really see a lot that's been put out of play, and they'll have another chance here. Man down for the Lions, he's got the brunt of that ball. He's alright, it should be just a stinger there. Dale man, worse for wear. Again, go the 2-man wall, and again Olympia send 2. Always have Gustafsson's a short option. They kill this one, and it's hitting clear, not convincing with O'Manamay. Nods it back and then volleyed over the top. He wasn't far away. He was curious there, and Olympia really threatening early on. They're all over the lines. And fortunate perhaps to still be at 0-0 here.
Fortunate indeed, Drewster. A good start from the Warriors. A high tempo start and really pressing onto the Lions' defence. Long and strong it comes from Duncan. It's picked off by Moons in the bullseye, and then Wadawa clatters in to the side of Scutt. Wins the ball for the Warriors only for an instant. Dale involved. Can only find Hickey as Warriors take it back. It's Mearns, finds Woolley. Back into this Warriors staying lineup. He tries to thread it through. It's cut off from Dale on the volley. Woolley meets it. Mearns helps it further down from Dale, and then it's McDonald. Turned out well by Cohen, and they might get forward here. Kingborough for the first time. It's cut off by Nichols, expertly done. Just guides it back for Lewis. Of course, Holmes out for the season. A big blow for the Warriors, but embarrassment of riches just to have Van der May and Nichols as your partnership back there, even with your skipper going down, as it's seen clear from Hedge to Palmer. Bobbles up in a contest. It's Cuthbertson who wins out, does well to find Turner. He gives it, but he gives it straight to Mearns with a look away. Finds Griffiths down the line for Sekiris, looks inside and back to Mearns. He goes all the way back to the standing skipper in Van der May. Through it goes. It's picked up well by Waddell. He skips by one in Palmer. Across now for Isles. He finds Waddell, just eludes him. Gets enough on it. Just to nudge it away from Scutt, and then he puts it out in front of Woolley. Woolley lofts across over the top. Too much on that one. Flies away, but Sekiris in the finish looks to track it down. He's lost something in the process, and Kingborough see it clear. Mearns to Hickey. So often a combination here at Warrior Park as it's played down the right channel and cut off from Scuddy. 1-2s with Watkins, and now Watkins delivers through for Cohen to run. He's got Van der May for company. Good touch, gets it out in front of him. He forces a corner, Cohen. Well, no, it's a goal kick, says referee Charlie White. And the Warriors will regroup and rebuild.
First time we've seen the Lions offer anything going forward, and I think that's going to be their plan of attack today. They're going to get back in force with numbers, plenty of bodies behind the ball, and then look to break down the flanks with their speedsters in Cohen and Watkins. I think we're going to see a lot of pretty passing from the Lions this afternoon. I think Olympia will certainly monopolise the ball as Sekiris does well to pass it back down to Woolley. He'll bring Waddell down the right. He looks up and assesses his options. He's got Isles bursting into the box. His touch is a little bit heavy, but he recovers well now. He looks up and gives it to Woolley, who had a bit of a fresh area. It opened up nicely for him, but couldn't get anything on it. Griffiths now with a chance. He'll send it down the left to Gustafsson, just drops the shoulder nicely and looks to put a cross in, but it's too straight at Duncan, and he can get things going again here. And look to Bill from the back. That's a nice pass to Turner. He's looking to burst forward now. Can he pick out a pass? Oh, well defended there. But Turner still bursting forward, and here's a chance for Danny Cohen. He cuts it onto the left, and it's a shot that's brilliantly blocked in the end. And there we see the threat of Kingborough on the break. Olympia have got to be careful they don't get too many bodies forward. They don't overcommit. And some good counter-attacking football here from the Lions in the last few minutes after they looked somewhat overwhelmed in the opening proceedings. Jack Turner, an important man for them if he can get on the ball and get forward. Probably quietened off after his start of the year, but he's such a key man to this side's fortunes. He does it all as they play a rather poor corner in there from Watkins, and it's easily dealt with. And delivery's got to be better than that. They're not going to get a heap of opportunities, so they've got to make them count. The Lions.
They do, Drewster. What a run it was from Turner. Just
one bust.
Broke away and he got it back, maybe somewhat fortunately, but very nearly made it count for Kingborough. Throw in now, and it's off that man, Turner's head. Davis, he nudges it back to him. Griffiths quickly in to see it clear. Out for a throw in as Kingborough venture forward down the right hand side. Throw in now. Down the line, find McDonald. He hasn't played a whole lot of Victory League football this season. He's in the heat of a battle with Olympia FC Warriors, a team many would say has been the best this season, despite their current ladder position. Throwing now for the Warriors. Down the line it goes, looking for Gustafsson. He interferes with Davis, I believe, so it'll be a free kick for the visitors. Dale over it.
No Billy G up top as that big target man, so we're seeing Cohen really drifting central at the moment. That's a good ball out to the right, but Warriors have numbers to do with it. A lovely turn though by Watkins, and now he looks to get onto that left foot. He's got 2 for company. That's really well defended by Waddell to cover, really getting back helping out his fullback, a real feature of his play this year with Darwin. He's such a hard worker down that right-hand side. And if you're a right fullback, he's exactly the type of winger you'd want ahead of him as Watkins plays it off the defender, and he'll get a corner as Olympia just appealing for a bit of high boot action there, but the referee not having any of it, and they'll get another set-piece chance here. So a good spell here for the Lions. They've settled nicely now. It was a nervy opening. It was looking like it was going to be all one-way traffic, but they've just settled into a groove, and they're starting to give the Warriors something to think about here. And obviously Dale to whip the corner in. They've got some tall timber to aim for. This one's curled a bit too far to the back post, headed up, and we see Lewis getting across to it and well claimed by the number 1 there for Olympia. And he looks to move it quickly. They've got a long down the middle. Securis is making a run over the back of them. But, that's a terrible defensive error. Securis has butchered a great chance. Well, it was Scott, I think, with the header back to his goalie. It was horribly executed. A great chance for Securis, but he's butchered it.
He has. He'd like to have that one again, I imagine. Should have done better with the effort. Scut with a let off, has to be said, as it comes long and strong from Duncan, cut off by the Warriors' defence, and then swiftly back the other way with a deflection, and it's a throw in from Scut, in for Palmer. Back to Scut, they played around the Lions. And Palmer looks to switch it up with a diagonal, looking for Davis. It's won by Isles. He's in a Kingborough sandwich, but he comes out well. Down the left-hand side he goes. He just puts it out in front of Griffiths and calls for him to run onto it. A throw in from Duncan, out wide now for Watkins. And it's picked up. It's out rather, off.
So Lions here, it's a chance to go forward. Let's get it out of there, and here's Mearns now. He plays him with Darwin. Nice little 1-2. Plenty of traffic in the middle. Gustafsson shifts it across to Griffiths. Looks up onto his left. Plays a nice ball to Securis. He's surrounded by blue shirts, so they quickly shut that down. They look to repel. Oh, it's terrible trying to run out there from Palmer. Just ran into trouble and puts Olympia back in a good spot here. Here's Hickey. Nipping in ahead of him though was Cowan, and now he'll race away down the right. He's touched a little heavy. Will he be able to keep it in? Not quite. And it will be an Lions throw. They do look dangerous when they break there, Cowan. He's been busy early on, playing some good football playing up top, and if he wants a foul there, he won't get it, and Vandermeer will just let this one roll through to Lewis. And he'll get things started again to Vandermeer. He goes into Mearns. Now to Woolley. Watkins pressuring him. He goes to Wadzarwood. They'll play it back, and they'll go all the way back to the keeper. So good structures here from the Lions, just forcing Olympia to go all the way back. With a good job of ball retention here from the Warriors. Here's Nichols on it. Always looks so calm on the ball. He plays it short to Securis, who's dropping very deep to receive early in this one. Scud up against Wadawa, and he'll just nod that one into touch. Or it might stay in, it does. So Wadawa can shift it back to Vandermeer. Olympia just monopolising the ball, and you can see plenty of bodies behind the ball. That'll be the theme of the day for the Lions. Here's Hickey. Can he impose himself on this contest? He looks to play Isles in, but Davis is there to cover it out, and scrambles out of play. Will be a throw in for Olympia, and a position here on the left wing.
I don't know what was going on there, Drewster. A bit of radio interference, but all good now as the throw-in comes down the left from Griffiths. It's picked up by Isles. He looks to skip to the line, but just lets the ball run away from him. He's offside anyway, I believe. So it's a Kingborough ball through their number 1, Andrew Duncan. He'll look to send this one forward. Sunshiny on the Warrior Park pitch. Sunny side of the river on the eastern shore. Long and strong it goes from Duncan beyond halfway. He's got a fair piece of it, but it's straight to white shirts, and Vandermeer will play back to his reliable goalkeeper in Sean Lewis, who finds Lockie Nichols, strolls forward, squeezes out a ball. It's cut from Hedge, who gives and goes. It's a nice dish inside. He finds Palmer, bowls off Watkins, turns into a pass as Palmer sweeps in front of Scott. He gets moving, plays the ball centrally, it's cut off. To Darwood. Just to get things Anderson, the height of Cuthbertson too good there. Picks it up, but he spins it straight to Olympia again, who also can't keep the ball. It's McDonald, back, ping-pongs off. Nichols, class, bit of work there in midfield, picks it up. Wants to play it up, it holds up in that wind. Lions take it back. It's McDonald who finds Cohen. He has it clattered into him. They keep a hold of it. Not convincingly. It's stolen from Cuthbertson, and now it's Gustafsson. Races away, fires a shot, deflects off the boot of Hedge and bounces out wide right.
Yeah, good defensive play there by Hedge. Got the block on. Again, Gustafsson getting the ball in dangerous areas. He's the most likely avenue to goal for them early on. They get the set piece here. We've got a 2-0 lead to South Hobart across the river, which won't be news Olympia fans will be wanting to hear. As Wadawu receives short, now looks to turn and does so well. Can he pick out a target? Half-hearted shouts for handball, but I think they're going to get one there. So Cohen gets a short to Scut. To build from the back, they go the long ball to Turner, who's made a run, but it's easy pickings for Lockie Nichols. Mearns on it now. He'll go back to his keeper. Seen a bit of that early on, so some good pressing. And I have liked Callum playing centrally for Kingborough early on. I think he's given him an extra dimension, obviously in the absence of Billy G. I think he's causing some problems up there, and I have liked that move.
Yeah, he did it a lot last season, and he's played wide for the bulk of this season, of course, with Gasparinados in the mix. But he is good there. He holds up play. He uses that big, strong body. This is Cuthbertson loses it from Sekiris. Nice bit of work from Gustafsson. Lays wide to Woolley. Sweeps across and it's finished off by Sekiris. Lovely work, Warriors. 1-0 here at Warrior Park. Sekiris returns to the starting lineup and to the score sheet. And the Warriors take a 1-0 lead over the Lions. You got to say a deserved one, Drewster.
Yeah, we've done well there. Woolley powering one in there. A few shouts for offside. He did appear to be very close to the line when he tapped it in, but certainly timed his run well, it would seem. And a clinical finish, a real poacher's finish, that one from Sekiris. And after the Lions were just starting to settle and look all right, they've been brought undone again. It was Gustafsson who was key to that move. He held the ball nicely, released Woolley, who drove across the box, and a lovely finish there. So Olympia 1-0, and that'll steady the nerves for them. Wadawu was surely fouled there by Scut, and a good chance from a set piece now to really press home this advantage for Olympia. And that'll steady them, 1-0. For a rough couple of weeks, you felt they needed an early goal. The longer this game went on, it might have just started to play on their minds psychologically. Can we get the goal? So an early goal, real key. It's Mearns whips this one in. It's headed away. It comes straight back after them though, because he's the first man to get there. He now plays a nice ball to Wiles, chips one to the back post, and Scut gets his head on it. But there are a few Olympia players there looming large, so well done to put it behind. And another corner as Olympia really start to turn the screws now.
They do, Drewster. That goal coming in the 16th minute. Of course, a late kick-off here at Warrior Park. Another corner, this one from the right, taken short from Miles. We've seen this a few times. He whips it in. It's off the back of Hickey's head and collected by a grateful Duncan. They race away now through Turner. A couple of Warriors closing them down. It's Mearns who wins it well. Receives back. Wadawu plays short from Mearns to Nichols. It's Griffiths on halfway to Vandermeer, the standing skipper with that armband. Good leader of this Warriors team. Back for Lewis. He chips along wide on the right, picks out Woolley, looks to handle it, but play goes on as Charlie White keeps the whistle at bay. Down the right it goes. Gustafsson picks it up on the edge of the 18. It's Woolley who sweeps it in. It's off the head and round the back. Dawu retrieves it. He's got Davis for company. Makes light work of him. Skips along the byline. Drops it off into the centre and it's offside. I'm not sure against who. Maybe Isles or Sekiris. Wouldn't have been Wadawu, but offside nonetheless. And again, a Warriors attack thwarted by the linesman. But they're all over them here, Drewster.
Yeah, they're starting to get on top in this contest. The Lions have shown some good signs, but it's looking decidedly one-way traffic at the moment as the ball is headed on and Cohen just shoulders it and That balloon's up in the air. Turner competing against Mearns. Oh, well done, Mearns. Did really well. Gets it to Gustafsson now. Hickey looks to release Isles down the left, but Davis nipping in. Griffiths will not quite get there at a Turner. It's a real jewel down the left. Oh, fancy feed from Isles. What a run. Can he pick out someone at the back post? Dahu was getting there, but couldn't quite find him. Some lovely work from Luke Isles, though, and he's having a real influence on this contest early. And they're going to have to be really careful about allowing that man too much space on the ball. It's going to be Gustafsson across again to take it. Again, I think we'll see two men there, so they can threaten to go short. They do like the short set piece routine. Isles standing over it, and again they do go short to Gustafsson. He'll play it to Isles, and he goes back to Gustafsson, and now he puts a crossing, but couldn't beat the first man. They retain the ball though, so another chance for Gustafsson. Plays one off for Mearns, who tried to curl one from distance, but didn't really make good contact with the ball. Never looked likely there. But a nice move to find Mearns at the top of the box. A good set piece routine there. And we'll have to watch that one.
Interesting, Rooster. Lukey Isles looking a lot more like the player we saw rip the competition apart in the early sort of 4 to 6 rounds. As it comes along off the bit of Duncan, won by Mearns. He's had a heap of it, Mearns. Goes back for Nichols. They've looked very measured in defence and through midfield, Olympia. They haven't been worried too much apart from that one turn of breakaway, you got to say. Been in control. As it's played short from Lewis, Nichols skips along, plays it centrally. It's cut off from Palmer. He's got Sekiris for company. Good pressure from Sekiris, but Palmer keeps it anyway. Turner helps it down the line. Nobody home but Lewis, and he'll collect at the edge of his 18 and roll it out for Vandermeer.
So Vandermeer looks up and strides forward confidently, the captain. Oh, lovely little flick from Gustafsson, almost down Sekiris. Fancy feet, the highlight of today's game so far. Gustafsson now with Darwood's Rob Davis on. Can he pick out somewhere in the middle? He tried to find Sekiris, well cut out though. And Kingborough repelled the attack. Hickey will work hard to keep it in play, and he did well. He's Griffiths now down the left, but Turner quickly puts that one out of play. Good to nullify that threat. Jack Turner, industrious midfielder, such a hard worker. Real box-to-box type. He's got his work cut out trying to stop the fleet-footed brigade up top for Olympia so far, who are looking like they're going to cause some real headaches. Just getting a little bit too much time and space on the ball. Going out to Gustafsson, yeah, 2 to beat on. They didn't deal with it at all well. Eventually they might repel. Woodar will fight hard to keep it in. I think it's played out off him and should be a goal kick, and it is. So some nice defensive work there by Davis, I think it might be.
Yep.
Duncan will take the goal kick. So they haven't really offered anything in an attacking threat since that Turner run. And
Drewster, for me, they just aren't keeping the ball nearly well enough, Kingborough. They're giving it away very easily. This one comes over the top from McDonald. It's hard for Vandermeer to deal with. Sits for Cohen. He strikes into the backside of Vandermeer. They get away through Griffiths. Then Mearns with a shape and a shimmy. He puts it out in front of Isles. Gives and goes. Receives it back. He'll look a bomb on. He gets past Cuthbertson. He's still on here as advantage is paid. Seen out from Cuthbertson in the finish and out for a throw-in. So Olympia again looking dangerous.
we spoke about how big of a loss Gavin Hoy would be. Well, you barely noticed it so far because Gustafsson is just playing that number 10 role to perfection at the moment. He's really releasing runners, playing it really well as Gustafsson. And they've got a chance to whip one in here as Isles looks to pick out Sekiris. It's repelled though by the big stalk, but Olympia will retain the ball. Another chance to whip one in, and then it's repelled. And Cohen will try and get on the end of this one. Watkins hasn't enough of the ball for mine early. He's a key mover. I know it's been tough. They've not had a lot of the ball and they're playing on the counter, but he needs to get more involved, Watkins, if they're going to be any chance in this one.
They're playing him wide, aren't they, really? So he's found it hard to get a piece of it. Really, really struggled. Been quite isolated out there as it's picked up by Mearns. As I said before, he's going to be having... Oh, here we go. Turner steals from Griffiths, breaks away, strikes, but it's blocked well by Nichols.
Yeah, brilliant defence again there from Lockie Nichols, and again Jack Turner, the man causing headaches, bursting forward. Just got to be a little bit careful, don't get too cute with some of their passing. The midfield been well on top here, but the only way the Lions have looked like scoring is on those breaks from turnovers, really. They need to make set pieces count. They've got some tall timber, the big stalk. Hedge, Turner's a very solid fella. They've got to get this in the dangerous area. It was a good ball to Turner, so close to getting a piece of it, and it falls out behind. It wasn't far away, and it could be an area that looked to threaten it, and it's taken deflection last off Olympia, so they'll get another chance by the looks of it. Everyone thought it was going to be a goal kick and they're about to clear out, but they'll get another chance here, Kingborough.
Drew, so he very, very nearly latched onto that one with his head, just that little bit. Yeah, and then over the back, they actually had a second bite of the cherry, but again it eluded the big Storkel. So Dale now lofts one in as to the back post, and it's far too heavy, and it's an opportunity that goes begging for Kingborough. They haven't had too many so far. They're probably going to have to make whatever they do have count.
Pretty strong breeze blowing out there. Thankfully we're well protected up in the box today, but you can see it's certainly impacting the play. That ball there really taken by the wind. It is a tough one to deliver as Lewis looks to kick in, and if anything it's favouring Kingborough this half. It's Olympia will be kicking into it, so I feel if the Lions have any impact in this contest, they need to do it in this first half, because it's only going to get tougher for them in the second half.
Well, they're at 1 goal adrift right now. They wouldn't want to fall too many more behind. So it comes down the line. Sinclair is won by with Dawu. Drops it off for Mearns, who, to be honest, hasn't had anyone near him.
He's running his own show in the middle, isn't he?
He is. He is really just doing as he pleases, which is something that I think Colin Robbins needs to address. As it comes back to Lewis, out in front of Nichols. He breaks away, gets it through, looking for Isles. It's cut off from Dale for Turner, in for McDonald. Moves to Dale. This is better from the Lions. It's out in front of Palmer. Not a lot on for him though. He nudges through. Watkins uses his pace, cuts it back, but it's all in vain as the flag is raised by Eugene Rosenwig on this right-hand side. Not too sure if that one was off myself. I thought he timed it pretty well.
I thought he had, but the flag went up, so that's it. And Lewis will get things restarted again here for Olympia. But better signs there. They got the ball moving. They got on the deck a few passes in that move for the Lions. It wasn't just hack it forward. He's with Darwood. Ball stays in. Well-known Isles bobbing up everywhere. Gustafsson lays it back. Mearns just skips around Palmer like a witch's hat and then plays it in. Gustafsson immediately surrounded. They've got plenty of numbers back. Falls to Mearns. He looks to lay off a pass forward Darwood. Scutlers across to deal with it, but they'll get it caught up. Again, some good movement. Again, Mearns and Gustafsson central to everything good that's coming from Olympia. Really dictating this game, those two, pulling the strings. Could probably go short again here. No, this time they're going to go direct and curl it into the dangerous area, and Duncan didn't deal with it, and it flashed across the face of goal. Keeper's got to be taking that one for mine.
Definitely had to come and claim that, and very nearly paid the price. Vandermeer, I think it was, at the front post, almost got a piece of it to nudge it home into the bottom left, but he's lucky to escape that one unscathed. Duncan, next one he has to come out and claim, that's for sure. It'll only get uglier as it comes back through. It's Isles on the ball. Ooh, big stalk extends those long legs, wins it back for Kingborough. Through from Watkins, it's there for Cohen, but he's offside as he looks to race away and pick up the ball in their attacking half.
Watkins starting to get more involved now, and it's no surprise that their best moments are starting to come here when he's on the ball.
Maybe some good news for Warriors fans. 2-1
Peg one
across the river. Launceston City pegged back a goal. So maybe there's life left in Lonnie City over there.
Well, we certainly saw a late goal last week at Darcy Street, so certainly don't rule it out. And certainly with a 2-0 lead, maybe South Hobart with an eye. Just a few players glancing ahead to the midweek cup game. I don't know. I don't want to put myself in their hands yet, but certainly a chance there. And the Olympic players didn't have plenty to play for already. That should give them heart.
With Darwin with just a bit of a nothing ball curling straight into the middle. No one home for it though. Yeah, well they rested a few, didn't they, South Hobart? They were in a tough spot really, but a good spot to be in as Nichols cuts off this Kingborough attacking move, holds it up on the line, plays for Hickey. changes back for his keeper, Sean Lewis. Very assured in his distribution, very neat and tidy on the ball. For Vandermeer, looks inside from Hickey and Nichols.
So I do prefer the two natural fullbacks for Olympia. I know obviously they had to fit Lockie Nichols in there somehow, but I prefer Vandermeer at centre back and two more traditional fullbacks in Griffiths and Woolley. I think the squad's just a bit more balanced in that manner.
Yeah, 100% agree, Drewster, and they've got an embarrassment of riches in terms of options as well, because Luke Isles, while he's a scintillating winger, he's an exceptional fullback as well, so they have that up their sleeve if they need. As it comes through now for Gustafsson all alone, tries to thread the needle, it's cut off by Cuthbertson. Palmer looks to turn on it, does it pretty well with a bit of body pressure for Cuthbertson, uses it quickly and uses it well. Through Scut, loses it, stolen by Isles, worried off it a little bit, and Cuthbertson now will pick it up. Guides it forward, it's a decent ball that picks out Turner, he's got no support whatsoever. And he's shepherded off it in the end by Hickey, something Charlie White was wise to, and it'll be a foul against him.
I thought he'd get away with that. I thought he'd done it very nicely. He just escorted him off the ball, but the referee all over that one. Wily customer Hickey knew exactly what he was doing and just got his body in the way there, but the ref's spotting it. A chance now from the set piece of the Lions, and you feel like this is going to be one of their real avenues to go. And they pick out a target in the box. Tilt Timber forward again. Puts it into a dangerous area, and the big stalk was rising. Couldn't quite direct his header though, and it spills behind for a corner. Sorry, for a goal kick. And again, the Tilt Timber causing a few headaches there at the back.
It is indeed. It looks like their most likely avenue, really, doesn't it, Drewster? From a set piece, looks like that's probably where they're going to find their goals if they do come. Display short from Lewis to Vandermeer, back for Lewis. There goes for Nichols. Very short on the ball, this Olympia defence. They like to play it out. They like to keep that rock on the ground. Forward now for Securus.
Jeez, he's dropping deep.
He's dropping deep. I reckon he just wants to get his feet on the pill after staying last week on the bench. Has a point to prove, there's no doubt about it. Back for Lewis. Hickey on the ball now. He's closed down by McDonald. Nice bit of work from Kingborough's number 9. Goes forward. It's Cohen who picks it up. Just gets it by Mearns, and then Dale does well to shimmy off Hickey, and they're away now. McDonald, he might look to shape and shoot. It's cut off from Dawu.
Ran into a brick wall and Big Vandermeer. He's just shaping as a dangerous move there, he thought, for the Lions, but again, well defended, well repelled. But better signs there, and again, just a little careless in turning the ball over at the back there, Olympia. I suppose it's the problem you can have when you are playing this short passing game out from the back. Doing a pretty good job pressing it again. They're forced to turn over. That's poor from Vandermeer. Can they make them pay? Watkins driving to the box, and he unleashes a shot. But it's well saved by Lewis, but he's near post, very well covered. You want to be careful, that distribution from the back just leaving a little bit to be desired at the moment, Olympia.
It is. It's won by Dale. He's done all right in there. It's cut off from Dawu. He's looking for Watkins, who hasn't had much of it at all. Got into it a little bit in the last 10 or so, and it's him here now in fight. McDonald, unintentionally, drops it off now for Palmer. Strides forward. Finds Watkins with a little dish. Looks to return the favour, and does so as Palmer looks inside for a cross. Hickey with a vital intervention just scoops it up for Vandermeer to scurry clear. He gets it long, and Scut and Gustafsson who collide. Scut wins out for Watkins. Looks to play it from left to right and pick out Cohen. It's cut off from Nichols. High in the air again, won by Scut, and Watkins pretty much fakes an effort trying to keep it in. It was all bit over.
It was all very stagnant when he got the ball there on the left there, Watkins, though. He looked up, absolutely no one was moving for him. That's a real issue, as we've got an update from across the river. So Rodard made it 3-1, but Laurie City have picked it back, so it's 3-2 now. It's all happening over at Darcy Street. So,
Sounds like
nervy moments coming up there for South Hobart at the end. 3-2 the score now. As Olympia playing to the box and getting across there was Hedge to deal with it and puts it behind. But just a worrying thing for Olympia. That was 3 times in about 3 minutes. They turned the ball over coming out from the back. It's something they're going to have to be careful of. They've only got that 1 goal cushion. They've got a chance here though. Woodall will probably be the target short. Now Gustafsson offers for him and it's cut off, and now Kingborough will come back the other way. Watkins looking to charge down the flank, but Vandermeer was across to deal with that. Just showed him a bit too much of it there, Watkins.
Really interested to see how that one finishes up. There'd be some nervy moments on that South Hobart bench. They've worked really hard to take the lead off Olympia. Imagine if it only lasted a week.
Yeah, it'd be a big blow, that's for sure. That's as you said, you know. Last week was worth as many points as this week. So the Lions looking to build from the back, but a little bit panicking. He just plays that one straight out of play, and Olympia could attack here through with Darwood. Lovely layoff from Mearns, that was slick. He returns the ball to Darwood. Back to Mearns, they're linking up well. Got the ball just stuck between his feet there, Mearns, and then he passed it out of play. So the move came unstuck. It was looking very nice there for a moment, but nothing comes from it in the end. And so the Lions have just looked a better side for the last 5 or 10 minutes after Olympia were really asserting themselves and controlling this contest. And it seemed like all one-way traffic. They've done a pretty good job of wresting back some control of this match.
Well, they've worked into it really, haven't they? There's a ferocious start from the Warriors, but now Kingborough decent value in the contest.
Another missed pass from the back there, forces a turnover.
So throw in, down the line, it's off Turner's head and there for Cohen to run onto. Cut off from Vandermeer, straight to Turner. He looks inside but plays out on the right. Cohen from the byline, gets it across to the top of the 6-yard box. It's cut off from Vandermeer. Dale in midfield, nudges over the head of Isles to Davis. He can't get it through a sea of white shirts, and it's picked up by one of them in Gustafsson. Finds Isles. He breaks away at the edge of the box, looks to cut inside for Sekiris. It's blocked and then picked up nicely by Duncan at the edge of his 6-yard box. And Kingborough will clear, and clear comfortably, and they pick out Watkins to perfection. Nice ball from Duncan. Oh, a little too cute inside from Watkins. He's gifted possession for the Warriors, and will they make him pay? No. Hedge across to cut off a Sekiris run.
Yeah, Mearns just robbing Watkins of it there. You know, Watkins' confidence is starting to grow as this contest wears on. He's going to have more of an influence on it, but showed too much of it to Mearns there and took it away. Chance down the right here for Olympia with Darwood. Looking to get him behind. The cross is blocked. Who will it fall to? Cohen hustling back well. Working hard both ways, and his hat clearance has taken a deflection rather fortuitously. They'll get the throw in, so we'll be happy with that, the Lions. So we'll just have to wait a moment for the ball. She's going down the hill. Scut will take the eventual throw for the Lions when he can get a hold of the peel. Eventually he does. He goes down the line now. Watkins, but well defended. Ping pongs up in the air and headed out of play. And then Olympia throw. Nichols down on the ball. What's he see ahead of him? He saw Mearns, but it wasn't his best pass to him, and Palmer did well to force the turnover. Oh, nice work. And Watkins again making things happen in the midfield, but there was Woolley turning the ball over. Well done. It's looking like it might just open up ahead of him, which plays all the way back to Duncan. Olympia have gone off the boil a little bit here in the last 10 minutes.
Missing a lot of passes, aren't they, Brewster?
Basic errors creeping into their...
Ones they were pinging in defeat early on in the game, and just, as I said, basic errors creeping in as the throwing comes in. Finds Gustafsson. Along for Woolley, back further for Vandermeer, but deflected out off Watkins. Cut a frustrated figure, you got to say. Doesn't look to be enjoying his football out there. This one he nudges along looking for Cohen. It's one first by Hickey to Vandermeer from the bullseye. Back for Nichols to get something going. Kingborough back in numbers, really clogging the space for Olympia to play into. Vandermate crosses halfway, fakes a long ball and it's off Palmer, but still with the Warriors through with Dawu. Gets it out in front of Gustafsson, races away from him and out of play and out for a Kingborough Lions goal kick.
Yeah, it's just not very clean at the moment from Olympia. Not playing with the fluidity that we saw in the first 20 minutes, but they were just dissecting this Lions defence. They've solidified well, they've set back, they've absorbed the pressure, starting to give them a couple of things to think about the other way, although nothing particularly meaningful. They've had some good play in wide areas, but there's been no real target on the end of it. Perhaps missing Billy G, I think you'd have to say at the moment. This ball might spill to Wiles. He cuts in onto his right. Now he lays it back for Mearns. He will bring Waddell into the play, will he? No, he decides instead to try and cross, but that was well blocked. They turn the ball over again. Here's McDonald. Wisely holds it up. Palmer gives it to Watkins. Bit of patience here about this build-up. Now they go down the left for Turner, and Vandermeer was there to cut out. Well, was patient, and then just tried to play an ill-advised ball in the end. They were starting to get some numbers centrally, and probably would have been better off just holding it and maybe looking to switch it up and ring it down the right-hand side. But not to be. Olympia again just put the ball out of play, so the Lions will get the ball, but not a whole lot happening either way, really. It's solid defence, but there's been nothing in the way of chances in the last 10 or 15 minutes. It's been pretty dull football, to be honest.
Yeah, it has been, and we're 40 minutes old in this contest. It's handball against the Lions, so free kick for the Warriors, taken quickly from Mearns to Gustafsson. Out wide, he finds Waddell, it's looked to flick on from Sekiris, almost sits for Isles, but Kingborough managed to get it clear. Over the top from Palmer, looking for the run of Danny Cohen. It's Lewis who's first to it. So they both are looking to play on fast breaks. It's Sekiris now, who's deep doors in his own half. Back for Vandermeer over the top. He looks for Woolley, who's run on. Slid away from him. But we got out there Scut. He's been in the thick of the action out on that flank. Bright wheels on him. Look at those things. You could see him from the moon, I reckon, as it's put in from Mearns, and it's there. It's there for Isles. An unlikely header from Isles, but he finishes off. It was all too easy, to be honest.
Good cross into a dangerous area, and Luke Isles there getting a piece on it. It was a good header. Keeper really needs to be taking that in my book, but Isles has made them pay. They've seen a number of crosses into the area, not really threatening anything. The delivery absolutely spot on that occasion, and 2-0, and Olympia with a lovely advantage now. They've really been troubled by Kingborough. It's hard to see where they're going to find 2 goals from to get back into this game. In truth, they've not created a thing, and whilst we've seen some solid defensive work from the Lions, and whilst they've played a little bit better in the last 10-15 minutes, it's going to be a really tough option
it was
for
Luke Isles. It was hit over the top from him.
So back the other way now with Palmer. Here's Watkins.
Mearns, I think.
Cohen holds up, but nipping in his heels was Mearns to chop out Hickey. Now he looks to play in Isles for the win. Just took a hold of that one, and we won't get that ball forward as Isles will soldier on down the left, and Hedge will play back to the keeper. 2-0 advantage. They've been accused of not being clinical this season, and in fact it's been the big flaw in their game, but today they've been pretty efficient up top, you have to say. They haven't created a heap of chances, but they found 2 goals.
Fairly efficient.
To them. A chance now down the right if they can feed in Turner. Probably delayed a little bit too long. Now can he get round Griffiths? He looks to charge in here, Turner. He might run out of room. Lays it back to Davis, and in the end his pass is put out of play, but it'll be a throw in, and it was a pull one. Hickey read it like a book. Got across. Now Dale has Gustafsson for company, and there's just dealt with there by Gustafsson, but the referee just calling it the throw in. He'll go down the line to Turner. Again, he's got Griffiths wearing him like a cheap suit, and there'll be another throw in.
Drewster full time from across the river, 3-2 to South Hobart over Launceston City.
A huge result in the context of the title race, that one. That was certainly one of the tough games they were going to face. So Hobart getting that, but Olympia appear to be doing the job today, and look, still a couple of chances, a couple of banana skins there for South Hobart, so Olympia have just got to keep doing what they're doing today and win. Obviously, they don't control their own fate anymore. There's nothing they can do about it, and I've got to say they've been efficient in the way they've got out there, and they've definitely been the better team today. There's been no real mental hangover from the disappointment the last couple of weeks. They've not looked flat, they've got out there and they've done what's needed to be done here in the first half. So he's looking, he can move forward and play it directly over the top, looking for Riles, but Duncan will cut this off. And how long we got left in the half? We wouldn't have too long, would we, Gilly? 2 minutes? So we go the long ball, which is just going to go all the way through to Lewis, and he can pick it off. And I think Danny Cullen's really the man you want to be just thumping long balls to.
No, he can do all right with them, to be fair. He's got a pretty solid rig on him. He can hold him up and a bit of weight behind it, but the height isn't exactly that of Billy Gasparinatos as they break away now. The Warriors through Woolley, gets it out in front of Gustafsson. He'll pick it up deep in that front third, sweeps it across, it's cut off at the front post from Hedge as he bolts away. Back for Darwin, puts it into the box, it's off the back of Woolley, wrapped around by Isles, and I think it's out for a goal kick in the finish.
Just for a moment I thought the wind was going to take hold of that one, it might just drop fortuitously, but not to be.
Duncan over the ball. To deliver long. He does, almost approaching halfway. It's picked up by Mearns. He does well. Just in their defensive half. Turner wins, bounces away. Davis back, looking for Turner. Line beats everyone. And out for a throw in for the Warriors. They lead 2-0. Deep in this first half. In for Sekiris. He nudges it out of play and gives possession back to the visitors.
So they're going down the line. Mearns won the header, flicked it centrally. Sekiris did well to hustle after that, nipped in ahead of the defence, and now he can unleash Woolley, who's bombed on, and he looks to return the ball. Duncan palmed at it. It wasn't convincing, but they deal with it in the end, and Turner will take it away for the Lions, and that is the end of the first half. A good one if you're an Olympia Warriors fan. They lead 2-0. They've been the better side. They've got the job done. They've been very efficient, and despite offering some threat on the break the other way, you have to say they've not been really troubled at all, Olympia, and they're doing it very comfortably here at Warrior Park. 2-0 the score.
Yeah, easy, pretty easy sailing, you got to say, for the Warriors. Not too much to worry about in terms of attacking threats for the Kingborough Lions. It's been mainly up the other end where the damage has been done, and as you said, the Warriors have been quite efficient when doing so. They've had a fair few forays forward, but ones with real promise have been finished off. And they hold a 2-0 lead now into the break. Rooster, before we have a bit of a breather, best players from that first half.
Well, I think you've got to say credit to, I think Lockie Nichols has been very solid at the back, along with Vandermeer, and their distribution has been fairly solid, but I suppose again, it's been one in midfield and it's been Mearns and it's been Gustafsson who've been making things happen for mine. They've been the real orchestrators of this. They've done a really good job of spreading it wide and bringing their wingers into the game. They've been the better players. Sekiris has worked hard and he's got his goal, so credit to him. For the Lions, I've really liked Dale's game actually. Midfield, I think he's been quietly efficient. Turner's done some good things. He's had to fight quite hard. But at the end of the day, they've just not offered enough going forward. Cullen's been probably pretty good too, you'd have to say. From limited service, he's given them a bit to worry about. So they're probably the best players for mine in that first half.
I tend to agree, and there's a few players out there that, especially on the Kingborough side of the things, they need more from, particularly Dean Watkins. They need to get him in this game. Very little of the ball in that first half and little influence on the contest. He's a real fire starter for them and he needs to get involved.
3-2.
Well, Drewster, we might just have a bit of a breather before we get back into the second half. I'll just check both scores before we do have a bit of a breather. Of course, South Hobart winning 3-2 over at Darcy Street. The scorers there, Braden Mann in the 14th minute and the 20th minute, Kemp in the 85th. The scorers for Launceston City, Hayato Agusu with a brace in the 72nd and 86th minute. And at Valley Road, it's still 1-1. So Bo Blizzard striking in the 10th minute and Todd Hingston with an own goal. Don't know whether he's helping out the former club in the 15th minute. So they're the scores from
Trojan horse.
the old Trojan horse. They're the scores from around the ground. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Do stay with us.
Turn it back on, yeah.
Staff has improved in the last month.
Back with the second half from Warrior Park. Currently a 2-0 lead for the Warriors. It looks like did Warren Madawi have his helmet in that first half?
I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he did. It looks like he's come out with a helmet on.
This goes on.
Obviously
A
expecting.
little bit though. If you did not talk loud, because
So we're not far from getting underway. Olympia out onto the pitch, just awaiting Kingborough Lions. A few Warrior faithful up here in the box, just making the start of this second half call a little bit interesting, but here to cheer on their team, and so far so good for them.
yeah, fair to say they're a happy bunch here with a 2-0 lead at the half. They've been the better side, and they fully deserve their lead. You have to say Kingborough just haven't offered enough going forwards, and if they're going to make a game of it, they're going to need to make some adjustments here in the second half, because they've just not really offered that threat. They've countered a few times, had a few good moments, but you can scarcely say Lewis has had any moments where he's been truly worried, apart from perhaps that corner where Turner nearly got his head on it and then fell to the back post, where the big centre back also almost got touched on it, but it's just not been enough, man. You're going to need to see some serious improvement out of the Lions if they're going to make a game of this in the second half.
Yeah, you're dead right. 2 goals adrift. It's hard to see Olympia surrendering this one. They would have gone in the sheds. I'm sure they might have checked their phones and checked to see what the score was across the river. Disappointingly for their, I guess, title tilt, South Hobart have got the job done over Launceston City there, although it was a close one, 3-2. And that, again, just points to the improvement of Launceston City, a real club on the rise. And,
Certainly been one of the successful and feel-good stories of this year, I think, Launceston City. They've really got it together, and it's very pleasing to see.
I think so. I think Lino surely has to be in the frame for Coach of the Year. It'll be interesting to see who gets it. As we have kick-off against the Warriors, there was 3 of them in their time. Play it wide to Isles on the left. Looked good in that opening half. He miscues this ball, however, and it's picked up by Turner and put straight out of play.
Yeah, his form's probably been a little bit down, like Isles, off at what it was at the start of the year, where he was just seeing the competition a lot. That's going to come with opposition coaches putting more work into him. He became a marked man. That's something, every young player's got to learn to deal with, and today's certainly been one of his better performances we've seen in a while. He was really dynamic, as with Darwin now sporting the headgear. I'm convinced he wasn't wearing that stuff like years. The flick on and the big stalk and get across ahead of Woolley and just put that one out in a touch. Yeah, I'm utterly convinced that he's just donned it for the second half. Of course, where's it? I reckon Doctor advised it was the right call due to concussions, and he's on the ball here, but he's just hustled out of it there by Watkins and drew a foul, and that'll relieve the pressure. Take the free kick deep in their own end here.
So it's the ball for the Lions through Scut. Full-time result from Valley Road as well, Drewster. 1-1. 2 northern teams, Devonport and Northern Rangers, tightly matched. Couldn't split them at Valley Road, and it's been a head clash, a real clash of heads here.
Palmer and Mearns. Palmer looking the worst for wear, you'd have to say.
Palmer looking the worst for wear, but Mearns not exactly looking splendid either. They're both, spot a bother.
You never like to see that. Always heart and mouth moments where you've got those head clashes. Hope they'll be alright. The team doctors, just having a look at them now. And yeah, fair to say both of them feeling a little bit groggy after that one. Both of them getting back to their feet now, which is good to see. Just nice to see they're shaking hands to acknowledge it. It's just two guys going for the ball, and you know, that sort of thing is liable to happen in football.
They both left the pitch in decent spirits with one another, which, as you said, Rooster, is good to see. Charlie White will just bring the ball. I think it will likely be a drop ball, this one. There's another good story this season. Charlie White's coming into the Victory League panel, and I think he's a great referee with a real feel for the game. Of course, a former player. He just seems to call it on its merits, I guess, and have a feel for what's going on in the moment. It's Griffiths down the line, throws, looking for Gustafsson. It's Hedge who wins away from him and sees it out of play. Another throw now. Griffiths with it. And the lefty goes out looking for Isles, nudges it for Gustafsson, looks inside. Drops it off for Hickey. Cohen looks to close him down, but he's already moved it on and found Vandermeer. Vandermeer with a long ball, cut off with a head from Scutt. Now it's competition as a couple collide, and it's Palmer who comes into the back of Woodard rather viciously. It's a foul against him, it's a free kick.
Yeah, pretty unnecessary that from Palmer. Just got in the back of him. Easy decision for the referee to make. Chance now for Olympia from the set piece, but it just didn't really need to be done. It wasn't in a particularly threatening area of the ground, and it now hands him a really good opportunity with the set piece, which Merns is standing over, and he'll look to curl this one in. It's hitting the deck there. There's a Kingborough player, Danny Cohen, and the fouler judge, so no pressure there. The big Dunkaroo sporting the hat now in the second half. There's quite a bit of sun out here on the sunny side of the river today, so probably a good idea for Duncan to be donning the hat. Doesn't have anyone on short here, so he's probably going to have to go long, which he duly does and sets it up. Just sat in the wind, Scutt duelling with Dawu, who fights on hard, and I think he's fouled. Cohen there, Palmer rather, just made the most of it, but certainly enough contact for a foul. Scutt will take the free kick, goes down the line. Over the head of Cohen, and no real threat there. Nichols can gather, and he'll go back to Lewis in goals. American assesses his options and then goes long towards Wadawu, but Brees just taking a hold of that. Scutt getting it, and Merns looks to spread it for Isles immediately, but didn't quite get enough on the ball. Turner surely handballed there, and he does, and they get it moving quickly, but it was absolutely nothing pass really from Griffiths. I don't really know who he was aiming for. Might work out all right. Hickey just trying to be a little bit fancy there, Shay Hickey, with the back heel. Not sure that was necessary. He's Isles now, gets it into Securis, takes a touch around, and in the end numbers win out. Only as far as Griffiths across the face. Securis taps in. If he's onside, it's 3-0. He is. It's 3-0. It's game over.
It is game over. It was well cut off by Palmer, but he gifted the ball straight to Woolley, and Woolley just put it on a platter for Securis, and Securis, all he had to do was just put that toe out and finish it off, and that's what he did. Kingborough looked to the linesman in just search of an answer, but I don't think he was offside, and unfortunately they fall further adrift.
Second time today we've seen that combination. Woolley getting on down the right, drilling one into the area, and Securis with another poacher's goal, so it's twice that approach has worked, and 3-0 now. You'd have to say game over. There's just no way the Lions are going to find 3 goals in this second half. So Olympia, smooth sailing for them, you'd imagine, and Securis has bounced back nicely to form with a brace. 2 classical poacher's goals from 2 nice crosses from Woolley, who's done a really good job getting forward today. That's Harry Woolley. He's had a very good game. As I said earlier, I do like the balance of this team a little more when they've they've got the two specialist fullbacks. Here's Gustafsson now. He's surrounded, but can he unlock the defence? He just goes back in the end. Hickey says, play it back to Nichols, and he does just that. They've shifted out to the left now with Griffiths. Can he keep it in? Just Isles. Well, he got around Davis, but Turner was hustling back well in defence. Jack Turner should relieve the danger. And he wins the throw for his team. Olympia players thought it was their ball, but I think that's the right decision in the end. Go short here to Hedge, and just hacked out of there, long. Nichols wins the header, but the referee just felt he got into the back there and judges the foul. Lions to move it quickly, but he's got absolutely no one on offer. So he goes into the middle to Palmer. Palmer goes back to the big stalk, Cuthbertson down the line. And good structure here from Olympia. Nothing on offer. Force them back. Scut will get in there. He dinks one forward. Well defended by Nichols. They keep a hold of the ball. Here's Watkins now. What can he do? Jinks inside a couple. Getting across was Mearns to cover. Well defended Nick Mearns. He's done well. Danger not quite dealt with though. Danny Cohen fighting hard, but numbers win out, although a foul has been adjudged, so some hold-up work there from Danny Cohen at drawing the foul. And a chance for Lions here.
Chance indeed. An all too rare one for the Lions. Con Robbins wouldn't be too pleased with how things have gone across the river. Had a strange old season, Kingborough Lions. At times they've dared to dream. Other times they've been really put back in their box. This one off the head of Cohen, it almost sits for Cuthbertson, but Lewis is first to it. Olympia escape.
Alertness from Lewis there.
It was indeed as Gustafsson feeds down the line. It's Isles with a good ball across. Unfortunately, just overshot, and Duncan collects. Scut into the deck. I think Wadawu came in dim. Charlie White with a bit of say to Wadawu. I'll go and assess Joel Scar. He's alright. Nothing to worry about there, Drewster. Nothing too untoward, I don't think, in the challenge.
Nah, just a little push afterwards, not a heap in it. Just landed awkwardly more than anything, I think. It's certainly a foul, probably a little bit unnecessary, but nothing too malicious involved there on Wadawu's part. The referee just telling him just to calm down here and just saying there was no real need for that. The keeper had the ball.
There's a bit of confusion about what's going on, but I think eventually the ball will get back to Andrew Duncan, and it does so. So Duncan over it. To send this one long and strong. And here you get a move on. 3 goals adrift. They look. It's a shocker straight from Duncan to Wadawu. Cuthbertson meets it ahead of Sekiris, finds Dale, who with a spin goes back to Duncan, and he can send this one forth. Picks out Watkins, who's been operating wide. Not sure it's his best avenue as it comes forth for Palmer with a spin and a seeking ball. He looks inside, it misses Dale and finds Gustafsson in a white shirt. Forward for Hickey, and then it's Isles who runs at them, gets by Davis. Turner puts pressure on and he puts it into the side netting with a cross.
Done a good job generally with that today, Jack Turner, getting back to help out his defence. A little bit lacking in support defensively at times. The defence has been a little isolated. But Turner's really worked hard today. Can't fault his endeavour out there, but really, at the end of the day, they've just not offered enough going forward the Lions. They haven't really given this Warriors team anything to think about. They've not asked enough questions. It's been a rare clinical display from Olympia, you've got to say. Normally, if they've created this many chances this season, they might have 1 goal, but 3 goals today have been very clinical. Is it a little bit too late? Well, South Hobart will pretty much determine that. Dale bustles in. Duel there between he and Griffiths. And Dale wins the day and brings it out to Davis, who's had a pretty tough day trying to deal with the threat of Luke Isles.
Yeah, he's been really put under the pump, it's fair to say. It's Hickey on the ball now. He's back for Griffiths. Nudge down the line looking for Isles. It's come off Kingborough Lions' boot last and out for a throw-in. So I've liked Dale's game, I've got to say. I like the way he just hustles and bustles in there. He does some nice turns and he's been pretty good in possession, but there's been very few winners for Kingborough Lions as it comes down the line. One in the air by Gustafsson, helped further by Hickey. They collide. It's Cuthbertson and Hickey, and Cuthbertson gets a little piece of Hickey on the way, and it's a foul against the Lions skipper and a free kick for Shea Hickey. He takes it quickly, finds Gustafsson, not quite on the same wavelength I think. He plays back for Mearns, squirts a shocking ball out of his right boot, just breezes by Wadawa and out of play.
Probably Wadawa, when Gustafsson first got it, probably should have shifted it to him a little bit earlier there. He had plenty of space here on this right-hand side. Maybe you just needed to get it to him a little bit earlier. The time the moment was gone, but it wouldn't matter where he was with that ball from Mearns. It was really overhit. Here's Gustafsson now, dances on the ball, lays it back. We've got plenty of time here, Gustafsson. He'll just lay it back to Vandermeer, and the switch is on here through Nichols, who's got Griffiths out in space on the left. Eventually heads that way. Now finds Luke Giles, who's surrounded by about 8 blue shirts here, so Wisely just cuts inside. Look at them all around him. Did really well though, Wiles. Thought his way through it and then tries a spectacular volley from 20 yards, which was never going to trouble the big Dunkaroo, and he happily gathers that one. But geez, the shirts were quick to get around Niles there. It was encircled. Hickey looks to play in Wadawa. A perfect ball there from Hickey. Wadawa's cut back, just wasn't quite good enough though. And still Cuthbertson can gather. He set a task there for Palmer. It was good enough to get to it in the end. Now Jack Turner hustling back. He'll go all the way back to Duncan, who takes a couple of touches to bring it under control, and then just thumps it out of there towards McDonald. Beaten in the air by Mearns though, and Olympia retain the ball. Now they'll thump it forward through Davis, and Vandermeer can go back to Lewis in goals, and they'll reload again. Here's Griffiths down the left. Looks up, so he's nothing ahead, so just takes his time and goes back to Lewis with a 3-0 lead. No real pressure on them to make the running in this game now, Olympia. As far as they're concerned, they've just got to see this game out without getting any players injured or booked, really.
Just got to close it out and just keep it moving. I think they've got goals left in them as it comes down the left-hand side. As Griffiths, who's kept on running, he's forced Duncan out of his box, but the big Dunkaroo's first to it, kicks it out off the fullback and out for a throw-in.
Typical there, the big Dunkaroo had to be alert. It was a nice ball to play. Griffiths who made a bursting run forward, but the keeper was ever alert to it.
Time for a change, Drewster. It looks like Sung Yong Jin is going to come on for Tom McDonald, who has gone into his shell somewhat in the second half. He had a couple of decent spells in that first half, but Sung Yong Jin on for him. I'm sure if it was the same Sung Yong Jin that played for Olympia, but the same name, that's for sure. It looks like a much younger Sung Yong Jin, so something they're aware of. It's won by Davis, out off Isles, out for another throw-in. So McDonald's day's done. I think Kingborough have definitely missed the influence of Lewis Vidal. I think that's a player that they don't have too many of, or not too many teams in the league have a player of the calibre of Lewis Vidal. He was really breaking games open at his best this season, and he'll be sorely missed.
Yeah, we've seen Cullen's played a lot centrally today, which means that you've got, you take him out from the wide area, that leaves the spot, especially when Vidal's there too, and it's been noticeable. There's really not been enough of an attacking threat. He's Turner bustling forward, the substitute just on, lay it off to Cowan, returns the ball for Turner. He'll play it back for Cowan. Now might open up here for the Lions. He gets the ball, gets a cross in. The air product again, just not there, and it's been the tale of the day for the Lions when they've gone forward. They've burst forward on the counter on a number of occasions, but they've just not troubled this central defensive pairing of Nichols and Vandermeer at all.
No, they haven't. They've looked safe as houses back there. I think Nichols at centre-back is just such a luxury. I think in most midfields in the league, or pretty much every one but this one, he'd be slotted in there, pulling the strings. And it looks like there's another change this time, a Warrior coming off, Fabian Gustafsson, and on comes the lettuce farmer. Nick Meredith.
Yeah, job done as far as Gustafsson's concerned. Very good performance from him, but with a 3-0 lead, you may as well bring him off. Got a lot to gain by keeping him on at this stage, really. Another good showing by him. In the absence of Gavin Hoy, he really stepped up today, Gustafsson. He played that number 10 role really well, gave him plenty of attacking outlets. He brought his wingers into the game, and I think his coach McNeil will be very happy with the shift he put in today.
You can only be pleased with what he dished up. I think it was exceptional as it comes forward from Mearns to Wiles to Meredith, freshly introduced into the contest, almost involved in some action in the box, but it's offside, I think, so a free kick for the Lions. Bruce, this game pretty well just sort of fizzling out.
Yeah, going through the motions, isn't it? The players look like that. Certainly, it's game over at 3-0, and it really is, as you say, fizzing out. Not a lot out there, not a lot for Olympia to play for at this stage. Goal difference have comfortably got on South Hobart, so it's not really going to be a factor in the title race. So, yeah, I think they'll just be happy to get to the end of the game with a full complement of health.
Yeah, I think that's the priority now, and that's maybe why you do put a Fabian Gustafsson on ice, despite how well he has played. You give it Lettuce Farmer a run, and maybe you can bob up with one or two. So it's a corner, or it's a deep throw rather. Comes into the box. It's Dale who nods down for Kingborough Lions. Gin looks to win it. Does away from Badawi, but finds a white shirt in Hickey. Goes to Mearns. Just tickles it along. Receives back from Griffiths. Gets down the left-hand side. Mark overs. Kicks it straight into Davis and back out of play. Back for Griffiths. To Mearns, who's been all by himself for the bulk of the contest. He puts the ball over the top and out to the back post, but just eludes the run of Ron Radawu and bounces out of play.
You just can't give a player of Nick Meredith's quality the amount of time on the ball that he's had today. He has had all day to just pull the strings, dictate the tempo. They've needed to, I don't know, man mark him or something, at least put more pressure on him. Too often he's just been in acres of space. Hasn't been as good a game as I've seen a couple of times from him, but it's still been a pretty strong game from Mearns all the same. As this one goes over the top, Sekiris hunting a hat-trick. You can be sure that he'll be running out the 90 minutes with a hunger that he's known for. He'll be sensing a chance. Duncan able to get to that one first, and now he just launches this one along. It'll be Nichols up against Cohen, and Nichols did well in the end. The ball ping-pongs around in midfield. Here's Jim now. What can he do? He takes it out to the right. He's got some company. And in the end, he's just ran himself into trouble and lost the ball, so not a particularly great piece of play, that.
He just held it in there and sort of just made a rod for his own back, really, didn't he?
Yeah, just turned blind into a dark alleyway, really. And then suddenly he was in trouble. He turned the ball over. Here's a long throw in the direction of the lettuce farmer. Can he get on the ball and do something?
The big lettuce farmer.
Opportunities for the lettuce farmer off the bench.
We love his work, don't we, Drewster?
Absolutely. We only get 20 minutes a week of him, so I've got to pump him up. Here is Nick Mearns on the ball now. A step over, not something you associate with Mearns too much, and in the end he just plays it back to Hickey, who's again just played that shielding role to perfection today. Jake van der May didn't like what he saw ahead, so he turned back, so hustling there from Jim. In the end forces him all the way back to his keeper. Nichols
Look at that.
Plenty of space though.
Lewis just on the little flick straight up. Jeez, he's good service.
Isles now looking to play him with Darwood. Scut just got a touch in. If he didn't, it was opening up big time there. Here's Sekiris, chests it down, but Isles couldn't get there. Hedge leads the charge out of defence. Here's Meredith, the lettuce farm, with a lovely raking ball. It's just about kept in by Woolley. Can he pick someone out of the box? He's already got 2 assists. He might have third. Lukey Isles there. He's already scored 1 header today, and Woolley having some sort of game. He's barely put a foot wrong defensively. He's had Watkins fairly well in his pocket. He's got 2 assists and he's looking at a third there. I think when it comes to votes, Good Friday Woolley might just be featuring in the discussion quite heavily.
Sorry, a little bit distracted, Drewster. As the ball comes down the right through Jack Turner, as they look to break away, he puts it in the middle, nobody home. Hickey turns, finds the lettuce farmer. Out for Mearns. He's got an option wide if he can seek out Woolley. He does. Woolley, good control, brings it down, bit of time to assess his options. Forward for Hickey. Good touch to get around. Palmer finds the lettuce farmer. He can't quite get a ball out. Does well to win back off Palmer. From Hickey to Wadawu down the line, and it's out of play.
That's his nickname.
And for those that care, it looks like the D's are going to get the job done over Collingwood Football Club, which makes me pretty darn happy. As throwing down the line, on Wadawu, scut clutters in. It was a late boot and just absolutely collected Woolley.
Yeah, fairly easy one for the ref, that one. Didn't leave a lot to the man. Oh, he's got on the throw. Here's Sakiris. What can he do? He turns, goes to Wadawu. Wadawu on his left. And Mearns looks at just bring it under control, but couldn't quite. Now here's Jin the other way. He looks up and he won't see a lot. He's got Cowan really the only option. Did well, but Lockie Nichols was on him. He's defended stoutly today, Nichols, and he was all over that again. Nullifying it before it became a threat. Mearns with a poor pass there. He had Wadawu in space, and he noticeably disappointed with himself there. He knows it was opening up nicely. A back pass there might put the big stalk under a bit of pressure. He ends up turning it across to Hedge, who just hacks it out of there, but straight to Nick Mearns. Isles laid it straight back to him nicely. Some good passing, and Sekiris is on the end of it. Oh, getting a good piece of it was Duncan. Had to make a crucial save. Now the lettuce farmer. Let's go with the volley from 20 yards. Got it horribly wrong though. It'll stay and play. And Wadawu's done quite well. Oh, he's brilliantly skinned a defender. Wadawu. He's overhit his cross though. It's such good work in the build-up there. Warren Wadawu completely got the better of Scut, but his cross just not good enough, overhitting all his targets. And Kingborough can repel for now. They've immediately turned it over. Some sloppy work passing out from the back. They have won it back though, and yeah, it's all starting to come unstuck now for the Lions. They look a pretty defeated bunch out there, Gilly.
They do indeed, as is played forward from Hickey out wide. He finds Isles, who loses it. It's with Palmer. What can he do? Turns back, finds Tina Turner. Any dance moves in there today? Can't find Palmer. It's won by Mearns. Only for a second as Dale finds some space. Cannons fall, and it's wide to the right. Nobody home for the Lions.
Fairly optimistic drive that one from Dale from 35 yards out. I'm not sure he's got that one in his arsenal, but I suppose with the game pretty well done, may as well try.
Hello.
Some interesting music in the box up here, Drewster.
Yeah,
really getting in the Warriors spirit.
Party time in the Warriors.
Really just about to get out the party crackers. The tune's going already as it's played from Lewis to Nichols. Longer with this one. He finds Griffiths, but he can't control. Right on the line, wide on the left, and it's out of play. Davis with a throw. Big Betty Davis Eyes looks to throw it down the line.
I've seen something.
Yeah,
The Lions have got his flag up. Not
Just
sure.
the referee on this right-hand side, Eugene Rosenwig, has a bit to say. Eugene, also famous for being, I think he's a groundsman at Rosny College. So, multi-skilled professional. Charlie White's heard enough. Not too sure what's going on here. I think it's just going to be a throw, but we'll wait and see.
Absolutely no idea what's going on out here, to be honest, Gilly.
Eugene with his flag raised. Wait a second.
Anyway, Kingborough will get the ball. They'll go all the way back to Duncan as we resume play here, and his Hedge, who's immediately pressured. I'll just walks past Isles nicely, just overcommitted a little bit. Davis goes down the line. Body work from Nichols on Cowan there. Dale flicking on for Turner, but too far ahead of him, and now Isles looked release Sekiris, but it was a pretty poor ball from Luke Isles there. It was never giving his striker a chance. Duncan bumps it out of there, again long and strong. Again, Cowan and Nichols duelling. This one will spill out of play. And, no, well kept in by Griffiths. He's Isles. He turns inside. Lays it back to Van der May. Captain strolling forward for Olympia with a raking ball for Wadawu. Will he keep it in? He does. Oh, nice work with Darwin. Just played it off scup.
It was clever, wasn't it, Drew?
Sachi knew that it was going to be either I'll get past you or you put it out of play for the corner. Very intelligent play, but lovely ball from Vandermeer too to release with Darwin there. Long range raking pass. It's been a real feature of their play today.
Has been indeed. Corner from the right. Played short for the lettuce farmer. It's a bobble off his boot that becomes a pass. Looking back for Isles as Turner who intervenes and wins for Kingborough to Hedge, who hasn't had a heap of the ball forward now. It's won by Woolley. The big Woolly Mammoth just toes it forward. Comes back through Gin. He's out muscled. He takes a tumble almost, Big Gin. Into the middle it goes. There's a foul in the process, so Warriors will keep possession.
Pulled it back for the foul on Gin, I think. His tumbles worked. That's what the ref was signifying anyway.
No, it's a Warriors ball.
No.
So.
Not sure what he saw to be. I didn't see a foul.
No, there was no foul there in my opinion, but a lot of guesswork involved in this half. As it comes from right to left and picks out Griffiths, he just dinks along. It's off the head of Meredith, swept across from with Darwood, ping-pongs around and comes off Sakira's last, but it's swallowed by Duncan.
Teasing ball from Wodawa, that one caused some real headaches. Just bobbing up on the left-hand flank for Wodawa, not something we see too often, but he and Isles have switched flanks for the time being. Again, Kingborough go forward with absolutely nothing, and Olympia will just charge on forward. That'll be a foul. Just getting in the back of Griffiths there. They've been disappointing in the second half of the Lions. They've not offered a thing going forward. I don't think they've created a single chance. It's been very much one-way traffic. Olympia, job done as far as they're concerned. 3-0. Keep that pressure up on South Hobart. Hope that maybe they've got the cup hangover next week after a trip to Sydney. Certainly, probably next week's the one where they'll be most vulnerable, you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's the week to watch out for, isn't it? No doubt about that, Drew. So they're going to be vulnerable. It's off the back of 3 games in 7 days, and the last one in that little series up north against Rangers, who are tricky customers on their day. There could be a bit in it for the Warriors. I'm sure they'll watch on with interest. Vandermeer on this ball, plays forward, it's controlled well by Isles, dishes into the centre, it moves on it with a look away, it's deflected out almost for Darwood, but they managed to scurry it clear.
Convincingly. He just needed to slide with Darwood, and then she was probably 4-0. It's a pretty poor pass, and it's not too often you say that about Nick Mearns. We've got another sub in the offing, I think. Should just bring a temporary pause to proceedings here. And it's going to be Jack Turner coming off for the Lions. We'll wait and see who's coming off for him. He's battled hard today, Turner, but been fighting a losing battle in that midfield. It's been Olympia dominant in there.
Hinkley on for him. Utility. I'm not 100% sure he's going to add much more than a Jack Turner, but
I think at this stage he's just giving him a run out.
yeah, exactly what I was about to say. At this stage, it's all mathematical anyway. It's just about giving someone a bit of a go, a bit of a taste of the top league. It's Hickey who goes back to Lewis. They're just going to milk this clock, I think, Olympia. They're in no real rush to get anything going. We're almost done, aren't we? Oh, still 15, do we? Jeez. I tell you what.
The enthusiasm is palpable.
This game has petered out.
It is very much going through the motions.
Yeah, it is indeed. 15 minutes to go, and you'd think there's 2 or 3 minutes to go the way the game's being played, to be honest. As it comes into the box, a throw in from Watkins, easily collected from Lewis at the edge of the 6. Drives forward with a higher ball. It's well volleyed by Hedge, one in the air by Mearns. Palmer now looks across halfway, threads a ball through, but no one there to run onto it, which has so often been the case for the Lions. Nothing of great interest in that forward third. They just haven't really created anything in this half. Palmer now robs Wadawu of it. Hickey picks it up, sends it the other way. Scut down for Watkins into Dale in traffic. Almost does well, but it's Mearns who pinches Sekiris. Does again. Took it off Cuthbertson, but just couldn't quite find Isles as Kingborough escape out on the right hand side. It's Davis. Picks out Cohen. It's won by Mearns, forward for Isles. He's ruled offside. Play goes on. Interesting offside for mine.
Didn't look near offside from my view, which is a pretty good spot here.
We have a pretty good vantage point, but as always, we'll back the official. But I tell you what, it didn't look offside.
Warrior fans get stuck in.
Big still Cuthbertson will take the free kick here. Can the Lions get a consolation marker? They've certainly not looked capable of it. It's been a really poor showing from them, in truth. They showed a little bit midway through the first half when it was still 1-0, but really from the moment that second goal was hit the back of the net, the wind was taken out of their sails and they've looked a pretty dejected bunch who've just not created anything to give this Olympia back for or anything to worry about. It's been a dominant display, very professional display, you have to say, from Olympia. They came here with a job to do, and they've absolutely done it, so credit to them for that, and picked themselves back off the canvas after a pretty tough couple of weeks. As surging forward here is Woolley. What a game he's had. Can he link up again with Sekiris? Oh, brilliant football between Sekiris and Woolley. The return ball, and Woolley just wide. That would have been a highlight reel goal. And Harry Woolley's had a barnstorming game at right back, and he nearly capped it off with a goal. And the link-up play between those two has been a particular highlight. And once again, it almost brought about a goal. This time Woolley, the man, fired just wide. And it's a little layoff by Sekiris. He wasn't far away. Here's Sekiris again to Mearns. He looked to feed him with Dawu. Oh, it's opening up for them here. Scutt got a cross with Dawu, denied by Duncan. Hacked straight up in the air, but the big store Cuthbertson almost favoured to get that. Nick Meredith, the lettuce farmer, now looks to drive from range, but that shot was blocked.
Steve, 91.
Here's Ginale after it. Olympia pressing hard for a fourth goal there and getting pretty close. And we're far away there. Here's Van der May, who goes all the way back to Lewis, who I don't think he's had a save to make. One save, I think he's made all day, that one on his near post. So that's about it.
That is about it.
It's a very quiet day for the American.
Has been. Is Van der May on the ball now? For those wondering, the D's got up 91 to 54, party time. Hickey down the line, nudges along, finds Woolley. He gives and goes. He finds Mearns. He can't just get by Scutt. It was a vicious elbow. He was flailing about. Collected a piece of Woolley. Play goes on though. Oh, it's Griffiths who steals ahead of Cohen. He'll race away now. He fires an early shot. Easily swallowed by Duncan.
The ref must have seen that. It was a bit of an elbow that Woolley copped there. Just on the follow through, and that'll surely be a foul against Mearns. And Woolley, I think, wasn't happy about the elbow moments ago, just trying to get a little bit back there, and the referee just says, alright lads, calm it down, and keeps his card in his pocket, which is good to see. Just diffusing the situation. I think Woolley was a little bit aggrieved that he didn't get the foul moments earlier there, going in a little bit harder. And Watkins has had his early day up against him. Woolley well and truly taking the chocolates in that one, although he hasn't had a heap of supply. As Cuthbertson launched this one forward. Headed straight back. Now his Scutt goes inside for Palmer, but his pass is overhit. Now Meredith looks to find Isles, but his pass going astray and out of play there. Down the line they go again. Meredith working hard. Mearns a sandwich between two, but he still won the ball. Can he pick out a pass now? Getting into back of him there was Palmer. That's a very obvious foul. And a slice of cheese, our first of the getting in the back there. Well, Mearns. So a good set piece opportunity here. A pretty easy one, that one for the referee. Professional foul, that one. Mearns and Hickey standing over it. Sekiris will be the man who'll be lurking in the box, looking for his hat trick. He's on two. If I know Sekiris, he's going to be very hungry for a third. It's going to be Mearns to play this one in. He's got Vandermeer at the top of the box. He goes to the shot, and it was pretty comfortable for Duncan in the end. And he'll immediately get things moving. And Gin after that one, but Griffiths clears. Nice from Meredith, can't quite get it. Dale loose, fought hard. Palmer, pretty mishit pass there. Just rolls out of play. That's really been the story of Kingborough in the second half. They've offered nothing going forward, Gilly.
No, that's it. We've said it a couple of times. The game just really going through the motions. Olympia doing as they please, more or less, in their defensive half. Not a lot of pressing or pressure coming from the Lions. Played forward from Vandermeer. Scut who wins it, but straight out of play and out for a throw in. Comes in. Picked up from Ado. He's closed down, but he puts it into the middle. Hedge wins it in the air, but it's Isles who picks it up, fires a shot. It's wide to the right, left rather.
Yeah, never going to threaten the keeper with that one, Loki Isles. His best effort. Did well to bring the ball under his spell, but just lacked the polish. I don't think they're too fast. I know this game is well and truly won. Duncan. Minus going again here. Goes it down and Meredith wins the header. Stork Cuthbertson chops that one out. Some nice work there by Palmer. He was fouled by Waddell, who just stepping in front of him. Protest, but fairly easy one, I think, that to a judge. Not a lot of energy out there at the moment, it's fair to say, for the players. They know this game is over. It's Dale. Not a lot of movement off the ball for him, so he just launches a long diagonal in the direction of Cowan, but Griffiths won that header. Now Meredith will do well to keep it in. Can Isles get around Palmer? No, he can't. Well done, Palmer. Goes back to Hedge. Hedge tries to play it out of the fence, and in the end, they judged a foul. And the Lions will take the ball on halfway. Really just summing up what he actually is, Dale. It was hands in the air. Somebody move for me. There's not a lot of work rate out there at the moment from these Lions. There's Griffiths shut down there on the wing. Olympia just casually and comfortably passing around the back. Really trouble they got with Sekiris. Cuthbertson won that duel though. He's cut now. To Dale, back to Cuthbertson. Danny Cowan immediately closed down by the lettuce farmer. And a rather poor pass in Griffiths. Lyles keep this in, he does. Now he can run at Hedge, he sets a dangerous cross from Lyles. Just hitting the top of the net, just almost catching the big dunker off his line there. With the cross that turned into a shot. But just over the top from Isles, who's been better today, but I think he'll be better served just trying to pick out Sekiris. I think he was in truth trying to pick out Sekiris, well, just floating on the breeze a little bit. Gilly, you're just looking rippingly enthused there, mate.
There's not much to it. Maybe Jin can get something started. He gets down this left-hand side. It's cut off from Vandermeer and out for another throw-in. So maybe there's something here for Kingborough. Throw in now at the edge of the box. It's won by Cohen. Almost hit for Gin. Dale wins. For Cohen, he just brushes aside his opponent. Lettuce farmer steals. Therefore with Dawu. Plays forward. It's a long ball. A long searching one for Sekiris. It's picked up first by Hedge and he finds his keeper who goes short to Cuthbertson.
So the big stalk on the ball goes to Dale. He's not stopped working, Dale. Credit for that. A tough day for him up against the Olympia midfield. He's fought hard. One of the few Lions players I think can hold their heads high. There have been many winners out there for them, if any, in fact. They go forward here, and again they just turn it over. In the end, they're able to win the ball back. Oh, good run by Cowan. A rare highlight there. Now feeding it down the right. Can Watkins be picked out in the middle here? He drives the cross straight into the side netting. pretty ordinary once again. It's just been really that type of half for the Lions. Now the 3-0 deficit, not a lot left to play for. How many minutes is that?
Batty, what have we got, mate?
5 to go.
5 to go. And I think be welcomed as it's played short from Lewis to Vandermeer. Welcome from both sides, I think. I think Olympia are pretty happy. They can be comfortable with what they've done today. Got the job done quite convincingly. Never really looked in danger of losing this one. Just played long. Bounces into the arms of Duncan. Kingborough are just in a weird spot at the moment as a first team. They're just thereabouts. They were 4th before this round. I don't think they'll leave the round there. It's swept clear from Vandermeer ahead of Hinkley.
Yeah, it's been a pretty listless display, which I suppose South Hobart still have to play them. They played them second last week, don't they? And on today's showing, you wouldn't think they're too capable of upsetting the apple cart at that one. So it really does, I think, mean next week is the big one against Rangers. And Olympia have just got to do what they did today and just keep getting the results. It's been a very professional display. They can only do what they've done today and get the 3 points, and obviously they're relying on results elsewhere now. It's finding hard to keep it in with Griffiths, I think. It's just eluded him though, indeed it has. Securus and Woolley bombing on. So the Lions will go forward again and actually muster something this time. Here's Cuthbertson. His passes just straight to Adawu and they'll come right back the other way. He goes long and direct, but hedged him well to get his head on it. And as far as Burns, lovely looping ball, almost found Securus, but well done by the big stalk. Defended that well.
So Drewster, Olympia probably need to rely on Rangers to cause an upset given what we're seeing from Kingborough today. There's 3 games to come for South Hobart. One of them, Rangers next week. The one after that, Kingborough. Albeit maybe down at the Den. I'll have to double check that one. And then the last one, Glenorchy, which you can probably write in the book right now.
Yep, look, I'll pencil that one in for them.
And then Olympia, in turn, they have Launceston City next week up there, which is easier said than done. Then they have, I think they have Glenorchy. Well, they might have Glenorchy next week, then Launceston City, and then Devonport. So they probably have the harder of the run. It all comes down to Rangers, really. They need Rangers to perform a miracle for them.
Yeah, I mean, so you're not going to write the Lions off completely in that South Hobart game, but from what we've seen today, I think Northern Rangers are Olympia's best hope of chasing down this gap to South Hobart. I think they're going to hope that the Rangers can produce one of their displays. They're capable. They're a very capable footballing side. Up north's a difficult trip, and obviously with a trip Sydney, there'll be a lot of tired legs in the South Hobart locker room after the Tuesday night clash against Sydney Olympics. So if it's going to be a slip up, you fancy next week's when it's going to have to happen.
Yeah. It's not done and dusted, that's for sure, but it's not beyond Rangers picking up a point, and that's all Olympia needs. The ball comes forward from Woolley to Securus. He picks it up, but he's offside. Yet again, not sold on that one.
Absolutely red hot on the offside flag today. Yeah, just about the end. So next week's going to be a very interesting one. Olympia have done the job today. South Hobart survived. A bit of a scare against Launceston City to win 3-2.
So both teams will be up north next week. Might have to check the kick-off times. You might see a lot of Olympia players there just sledging on South Hobart from the sidelines.
There'll be plenty of Northern Rangers fans adding to that fan base next week, I'd have thought. They are a very vocal fan base, Olympia. Probably the most vocal in the league, you'd have to say. Certainly made plenty of noise at Darcy Street last week, up until about the 87th minute.
So it turns out they played Glenorchy on Friday night. There goes that. They played Lonnie City the week after. But a difficult finish, those two, I think, Lonnie City and Devonport, because both, it's a really interesting mix for, of course, this year the top 6 play Victory Cup football. We're talking talking there's 4 teams fighting for the bottom 3 spots in the Victory Cup, more or less. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes, Drewster.
Yeah, still going to be plenty to play for the opposition, or South Hobart and Olympia in the coming weeks. But obviously, they'll regret the last couple of weeks, but they've bounced back today with a win. 3-0 it ends here. A very convincing display from Olympia, a very professional display. The Lions didn't offer a lot in truth, and they were never really challenged in this one. A good performance from Olympia. They did what they have to do. Obviously, they'll now look forward to next week. They've just got to keep grinding out the 3 points and hope results turn their way. But they've got the job done today as far as they're concerned, and they'll go home. They're happy at 2 sides. And for the Lions, well, it's a bit another case of Jekyll and Hyde for them once again. It was the bad Kingborough Lions that showed up today. And for a squad with the talent they've got in there, it's alarming how often they put in these kind of listless displays.
It is indeed. It was very, you got to say, almost easy for Olympia. They didn't really have to get out of second gear. They got the job done. They started well, and you got to say from about the 60-minute mark, it just seemed like both teams were just happy to kick about and just wait for the end of the game. Kingborough Lions a little bit off the pace in this one. Olympia did what they had to do, but as we've said so often in this call, it's out of their hands now. They're just got to keep getting wins and keep putting the pressure on. Be interesting to see what happens in future weeks. We'll be bringing more live action to you live over sliceofcheese.net. Do stay with us, and for any news and opinion, that is your one-stop shop, sliceofcheese.net. We might just go through the better players on both sides before we wrap up, Drewster.
Well, for Kingborough, there's not a lot really to write home about. Dale battled hard. I think we're both pretty impressed with his industry in midfield today. Duncan made a few good saves, but probably at fault for one of the goals. So a tough one there. Not a lot of winners. The best players, all Olympia players. I thought Woolley was outstanding at right back. He was barnstorming at times. Up with 2 assists. And put plenty of balls into the area and really nullified the big threat of Watkins on that left wing. He barely had a sniff. I thought he was great, but I think the whole back 4 of Olympia did the job with a minimum fuss. Nichols was good. His playing out from the back was a highlight. In midfield, Mearns again, a real highlight. Lukey Isles had one of his better games, and Manny Securis with 2 goals was clinical today. And that's probably a knock on him at times. Clinical isn't really a description that's fitting at times this year, but today absolutely buried the 2 good chances he got, and I thought he worked really hard up top today.
That's a good point, Drewster. I mean, I myself have been a knock on his finishing in the past, but he couple of chances, finished them off with a plum. I thought his pressure was good. He worked back into deep areas to help out. Pretty good shift from Securis back in the starting lineup. We have some questions with Glenn McNeil around where Gavin Hoy is, when he expected back, what's to go there. But the 11 they put out there today were convincing in their display. Really far too good for Kingborough Lions, and winners across the board. I thought both fullbacks bombed on, created chances. Luke Isles, terrific. Mearns, Hickey, Gustafsson. I mean, names across the board all did well. There was no one that you could say really had a down day for the Warriors. It was a good afternoon at Warrior Park. For Kingborough, they'll head back down the highway and prepare for another big clash next week. But no 3 points for them, so it may see them slip down to as far as 6. They're at 6 now after that result. So there you go, Jacob back keeping us up to speed. So down to 6. Their spot in the Victory Cup will really come down in the next 3 weeks. So as I said before, stick with us in the last 3 weeks of Victory League action. It's been an exciting season. I'm sure there's twists and turns to come. For now, that's all from Warrior Park.
Dash into you.